You set big goals for 2026. You can feel it. They're calling you. But if you don't know where to begin, those goals will stay stuck in your head. That's why I created Deck the Chaos, Plan 2026 like a boss. This isn't fluff. This isn't another hype session, but it is a working retreat where we'll roll up our sleeves, say thank you to 2025, cut through the noise that's happening now, and turn your big vision into a clear, doable plan, complete with quarterly check-ins and January steps that you could actually follow. It's happening live on October 18th, so be sure to save your seat over at thecalico.com/ducksretreat and step into 2026 with clarity, energy, and momentum that lasts all year long. See you over there.
Ever wonder what it really takes to build a business and a life that feels like yours? Welcome to That Big CEO Energy. I'm Callie, entrepreneur, operations whiz, and your go-to for the real, raw, and unfiltered side of business and life. Because let's be honest, entrepreneurship isn't just about strategy and success. It's about figuring out who you are in the messy middle, trying new things, well, just because you can, and creating a life that actually fits you. From solo deep dives to candid convos with powerhouse business owners, we're talking all about the highs and the lows and the why did no one warn me about this moments that come while chasing big dreams. So let's get uncomfortable, embrace the chaos, and make it happen. All right, friends, we're doing it. Today we're talking about lists. And listen, before you roll your eyes and think to yourself, Kelly, we're really doing an episode about lists, let me stop you right there. Okay? This is not your Pinterest perfect bullet journal kind of episode. I'm not here to tell you to buy special pens or washi tape unless, hey, if that's your thing, in which case you do you. What I'm sharing today are the 3 lists that actually have changed the way that I run my business and the way that I run myself. It's really the lists that have changed the way I manage my time. And honestly, it's the way I show up now. Because here's what I know, okay? Most of us make lists the wrong way. And yes, there is a wrong way. I've learned this now. But we usually scribble down 37 random to-do. We feel a rush of, I'm so productive dopamine, right? And then we either forget where we put the list altogether, or we end the day realizing that we crossed off 15 small tasks, but the important stuff is just staring at us from the corner of the desk. I know, I just called you out. It's okay. I called myself out too. But for years, that was me, you guys. Lists, and they sort of still are, but they were my security blanket and they made me feel organized, but they weren't actually helping me make progress. The shift happened when I stopped listing everything and started using 3 specific lists that work together. First, a list to focus on me and what matters now, a list to pull me toward where I'm going next, and a list that keeps me motivated on the days where I feel like I'm not doing enough. And I call these my CEO lists. And the truth is, you can start them today if you want to. There's no fancy planner. There's no expensive app. Matter of fact, my app that I use is Asana, and it's free. But it's just the willingness to honestly focus. So grab your coffee, pull up your little notes app, or get your little notebook out, and let's get into the first one. You've probably heard me talk about this before, but it's the big 3 list, right? It's my daily non-negotiable. It's exactly what it sounds like. The 3 things that if I get them done today, make today a win. Non-negotiables. Those are the things that, no matter what, if the dumpster is on fire, if we mark off these 3 things, guess what? We were productive today. And sometimes it takes a little bit to understand what the big 3 are, but I didn't always do this. right? Coming back to the 37 things on the to-do list, that was me. Raise your hand. That's your girl here. But I used to start every day with what I thought was a quote unquote comprehensive to-do list, right? Oh, and it was comprehensive already. It comprehensively overwhelmed me, maybe. But some days I'd have 25 things on that list and I get to 5 p.m. and I've crossed off, maybe 18 of them and still feel behind because those 7 things, those were actually the big important ones. I know. And you're probably like, okay, so you see me now. It's fine. We're all friends here. But the big 3 actually flips that. So instead of letting my day be defined by a million little distractions, I ask, if I could only accomplish 3 things today, which ones would matter most? I know that in our apps like Asana and things, like I have to-dos, right? I have all the things that are to-dos. But again, out of that list, I have to come back to, if I could only accomplish 3 things today, which ones would matter most and not put me behind, to be very honest. But here's what this looks like in real life, right? If I'm in a launch week, my big 3 might be record 2 podcast episodes and finalize the sales page and send the first email to my list. Those are 3 things. 2 podcast episodes is 1 thing because you're literally sitting down and anybody can bang out 2 podcast episodes. Okay. Record 2 podcast episodes, finalize the sales page, and send the first email to my list. Okay. 3 things. Those are big things. Those are things that are moving the needle of your business forward. Yeah. If I'm in a client heavy week, it might be deliver the strategy deck to 1 client, right? Host 2 Zoom calls and send proposals to 2 leads. Even though there are 5 things in there, I'm sitting down and I'm doing 3 heavy things. So we're pairing things together, right? We call that, for some other things, we call it habit stacking, right? So we're going to deliver something to a client. We're going to host 2 Zoom calls. Those are probably on our schedule for that day. And then we're going to send 2 proposals to 2 leads. So it's sitting down and that is the action items. And so it's not about ignoring everything else, but it's about setting priorities so that the most important things get done first. And I know that is super daunting and people don't want to do the hard stuff first, but I will just share with you that if you're doing the hard stuff first, afterwards, all of those little things on your list, and if you have time, the amazement that the momentum gives you to get the hard stuff first and continue on for the rest of the list, chef's kiss. And here's the secret. When you tackle those 3 things before lunch, the rest of the day feels lighter. So you're not chasing that I'll feel accomplished later feeling. You already are accomplished because you've reached lunch and you're like, oh my gosh, I have the rest of my day. So, okay, story time. It was Christmas last year and I was in my bakery. So I was juggling bakery orders during Christmas season. I also had a torn ACL. I also had client deadlines because most clients take a little break during Christmas, as you should. And I work half days in Cal & Co. during the Christmas season, and I take some days off during Christmas week. And on top of all of that, I have a horse. I am buying stuff for, the kids for Christmas. We usually host Christmas, so all the things, right? And normally, I would have been all over the place. A little bread baking here, a little designing there, a little client something here, answering emails in between, right? And so I remember I decided to try the big 3 rule for real. And so Monday's big 3 were something like, if I remember off the top of my head, finalize an outline, confirm pickup with the customers, and write a client onboarding sequence for a project. By noon, I had everything done. And instead of running around like a headless chicken, I actually had the mental space to think and do some bonus prep, which was amazing. And so I was able to stay on top of both of my business that I had operating at the same time. I felt on top of the world. And there was a reflection period when I was down for the count after my surgery of like, oh my goodness, this is something I could be doing all of the time. So before you go to bed tonight, I want you to write down your big 3 for tomorrow. Not 5, not 10, not 2, not 1, 3. And make sure that they are high impact moves. Not this low effort, busy work stuff. Like if you are getting yourself ready for a launch, right? If you are maybe creating a membership, pull out the 3 biggest things that you need to be doing, and those are your tomorrow's activities. So the next list, so that's the daily big 3. So the next list is the vision list. And this vision list is your long game. And most of us are stuck in one of 2 modes. We're either constantly reacting to what's urgent, or we're hyper-focused on the next small milestone. And while both can keep you super busy, they also can keep you super stuck. So let's talk about it. So the vision list is where you put everything you want for your life and your business in the next 3 to 5 years. We're just writing it down. There's no judgment. There's no editing. This is your place to dream without immediately worrying about how. So mine has everything from speaking on a stage in front of 1,000 women to, launching a scholarship fund for women leaving shelters to having a little cabin by the lake where I can write, right? It also has things super personal, like taking a month-long trip through Europe. Anything. But it's your vision list. But the point isn't to plan all of it right now. The point is to see it. Because when you have a vision, you can revisit. It's easier to make daily decisions that pull you toward it. So there was a time that I said yes to literally every client project. Oh, you need that last minute? Sure, I'll do that. Because I thought more work equaled more security. But when I started my vision list, I realized that I wanted a business that left me room to write, to speak, and to create, not just grind back-to-back client deliverables. So I started saying no to projects that didn't align with that future. Started saying no to clients that weren't really aligned with who I am to my core. And within a year, no joke, my calendar started to look like the life that I actually wanted to live. I have so many boundaries now. You guys, it's amazing. So open a fresh page in your notebook or a note on your phone, whatever you want to do, and write vision list at the top. And then just start dumping everything you'd love to see happen in the next 5 years. No limits. No, this is unrealistic. You can refine it later. But for now, just get it out of your head and onto paper. It's a really, really cool exercise. And then the final list is the done list. This one is a confidence booster that we all need, especially when that little voice in your head starts saying, you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. This is the reason why I love Asana, is because I can check I can click the little completed section and I can see everything that I have done. But the done list is everything exactly what it sounds like. So it's a running record of what you've already accomplished. And yes, you can do it daily or weekly, but I recommend starting daily. So here's why. Here's why there needs to be a done list. As entrepreneurs, our brains are trained to focus on what's left to do, which means even on days when we've crushed it, we can feel super behind. The done list shifts that by showing you in black and white how much you've already achieved. So some days my done list has big things on it, like wrapped up a 10K project, right? Launched a new lead magnet, maybe created a new client onboarding system, right? Other days, it's more personal. It's things like went for a walk before I sat down for my workday, prepped dinner ahead of time. Speaking of, side note, prepping dinner, you guys make all your meat on Saturday and Sunday. It's a game changer for life. And maybe it's I send a thank you note to a client. Like both count, both are wins. But there was a time where I felt like I was always treading water and I couldn't figure out why. And the vision list that we just talked about felt so far away. And my big 3 just felt repetitive. But when I looked back at my done list, I saw that I had actually onboarded 3 new clients. I recorded a whole slew of podcast episodes. I had amazing interviews. And I baked for the women's shelter and contributed food to it like twice that month. Right? Like that's not treading water. That's building a life and building a business that I love. And so who was I to rob myself of that? And I think it's important that we sit in gratitude, and maybe it is gratitude for what you have accomplished each day. Maybe you keep a gratitude journal and you say to yourself, what are the things that I got done today? And that becomes your journal. That would be amazing. So tonight, I want you to write down 3 things that you got done today. Do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. And then at the end of the week, I want you to read them back to yourself. It's like giving yourself a highlight reel. And I think it's so important because we often can miss all of the little things that we do so well. And eventually it quiets the voice down that says, you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. And the reality is you can flip through your journal and be like, yeah, bet I'm doing a ton. So those are my 3 CEO lists. The daily big 3 for focus. Okay. The vision list for our alignment and getting us where we want to actually be in life. And the done list for our confidence. And these lists work because they hit all 3 timelines. The timelines are what matters now, where you're going, and what you've already achieved. So if you want to try this, my challenge to you is simple. I want you to start one of these 3 lists today. It doesn't have to be all 3 of them, but keep it going for a week and then add the second, right? And then by the end of the month, you'll have all 3 running, and then you'll wonder how you ever managed without them. Bing, bang, boom, Bob's your uncle, right? But being a CEO isn't about doing everything. It's about taking back your big energy. It's about doing the right things over and over and over until the vision in your head matches the life right in front of you. Hey friend, thanks for hanging out with me today. If something in this episode clicked for you, I want you to shoot me a DM over on Instagram. The link is in the show notes. Let's chat about how you're making the messy middle work for you. If you loved what you heard, would you mind sharing this episode with a friend who needs to hear it too? And drop a quick review if you don't mind. It helps get the word out, and I appreciate it more than you know. Catch you in the next one.